Welcome back, boys, girls, and Yasuo mains. We're here with the UKLC. We're in best of 3, number 2 now in the Gauntlet. My name is Munchables. I'm joined once again by Orcs.
Hey.
Let's jump into the second series, and Phelan looking fantastic. You could say that they are feeling it right now.
Or you could not. But yeah, they had a great performance in that series. Everyone on the analyst desk, Twitter as well, predicted it would be heavily Enclave favored. And with reason, we saw Enclave handily deal with them in week 7. And maybe that overconfidence got to the heads of Enclave because feeling they looked on form, they bounced back. And now, speaking of on form, they're up against a roster who in recent times have not looked on form. Diabolus had a really rough end of the split. They started off great. They were one of the first non-LEC sister teams to get towards that finals of the bracket, and then they just struggled so much from there. I believe they're on a 5 wins loss streak. Sorry,
it is a 5 loss streak. We'll talk more about that matchup though once we get on into things. First, let's take a look at our MVP from the series that we just witnessed right there. It is going to be Bear Tree, and I think rightly so. 8, 2, and 9, 65% participation, but most importantly, knowing when to take those fights against Rifty, knowing not to push things too hard when he can't win a 1v1.
Yeah, and I just got to respect that he went so aggressively in for that. Despite the fact he'd been sort of taught where his place was in the week 7 match, he went, no, I'm not letting myself sit in that situation, and he just completely dethroned Rifty as one of the kings of the UK.
Absolutely. Now, let's remember what everyone is here for today. We've got a brand new trophy that everyone's going to be fighting over when we get to Twickenham. Fnatic Rising already ready to get their hands on it, but let's take a glance at how it was all made.
This is a really special moment for esports in the UK. As a British company, it's been a huge privilege to design and manufacture this trophy. It really recognises how important the fans are to Riot Games and UKLC.
The initial brief was to take the UKLC logo, make it look like it's erupting out of the ground. Let's find some concept art of Lissandra, let's find some rock concept art, let's mash them together, see what we can come up with. Play around with it, come up with some ideas, how to design the rocks, how to design the tower to make it look right. And I take them to the production team and they say whether we can make it or not, whether it's manufacturable, and we come up with better ideas of how it can be made.
When we get the designs, we start by taking our 3D models, we model them up, program all the individual pieces, we work out billet sizes, start cutting the billets, set our machine, we do a dry run, proof everything out, and when we're happy, we start running.
On this occasion, some of the parts are polished and sandblasted.
Well, I chose to do sandblasted and polished pieces because of the two-tone logo that the UKLC use, and I like the idea of it, that if you look at it from a certain angle, it literally is their logo.
The trophy is made out of 33 individual parts plus the base. It equated to 96 hours worth of machining, and they were all machined individually here at Stratford. This is the longest we spent on one particular trophy. We spent roughly 2 weeks on the large trophy, compared to other jobs where we can machine hundreds of trophies over numerous weeks. This was 2 weeks on a particular trophy. It was amazing.
After the parts are manufactured, the trophy gets assembled by hand, and it's at this stage that everything gets checked to make sure it's absolutely perfect.
It's going to be weighty, but it deserves a weight because it's a big trophy and it's really smart, so you don't want it to be lightweight and flimsy, you want it to be good, solid, sturdy trophy.
What we've got represented to give to the UKLC for them to see, I'm really, really chuffed with. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
This is a really special trophy. Not only does it look good, but it's fantastic to hold as well. The games all around the UK are going to be really proud to win this, and it makes us proud as well. And the fans are going to absolutely love this trophy.
What a gorgeous trophy it is as well. I cannot wait to see who's going to pick that up. It's probably me before the finals actually starts. I might get a selfie just for Twitter.
Good luck, because
it's beautiful.
Because it's so nicely polished and so clean, they will not let you touch it.
That's probably true.
I'm not joking. They will slap your hand before you even get near it. They're probably going to have a security guard right next to it. So if you want to get it, you're going to have to win the whole UK league.
A meager task if you're the likes of Fnatic Rising and whoever else makes it to the final.
I mean, from the looks of it, it's going to be pretty easy for Phelan based on their play in the last game.
And speaking of Phelan, they're going to be jumping into another series right here. They're jumping up against Diabolus now. And as you were alluding to before, Diabolus not been having a very fun run of it more recently. 5 games in a row they have lost now. And we'll see if they're going to have what it takes to get back on the horse, take on Phelan, who are looking fantastic now. Before we jump into it, let's talk predictions. Me and Hitbrain have both gone Phelan. You've gone Diabolus, though.
Yeah, well, there's 2 reasons for that. One is that if I follow my brain, I'm always wrong. That's just how my predictions have gone this split. But also the big thing is that Phelan, every single time I predicted for them, they've lost. Every single time I predicted for them, they have lost. And so I'm pretty sure if I did predict them here, they would hunt me down and they would make me pay for it.
You're secretly a Phelan fan. You've got the jersey underneath. You're going to like Superman it off later.
That's the thing is that if like I didn't vote for them last series, they won. I voted for them in week 7, they lost. It's just literally how it goes.
I feel like that might be correlation as opposed to causation.
No.
What's the score that you're predicting here?
I was predicting a 2-1 to Diabolus.
I've said 2-1 Phelan, and apparently Hitbrain has said 2-0 in favor of Phelan. So, wait, no, sorry. Hitbrain said 2-1. I said 2-0. I've already got the scores.
I like how you get your own score.
I got my own prediction wrong. Which
well, yeah,
is,
but that is how. I mean, it's difficult because I think Phelan have looked really good, but I also thought Enclave looked really good. So it just shows that it's so hard to predict.
Phelan looked good today. Phelan
True.
looked good literally 10 minutes ago. So either way, let's take a look at our rosters as we jump on towards this series, because I can't wait to sink my teeth into this one. Diabolus stepping up to the plate here. Kakan, PFI, Fury, Dragdar, and the Heathen.
Yeah, and then flying over to the other side of the rift, we once again have Phelan, Beartree, MVP of that series in the top lane, Soft in the jungle, Chimera mid, Achu 80 carry, and Wisdom support.
Yeah, and I mean, Kakan is going to have his work cut out for him. If last series is anything to go on, Beartree was absolutely the MVP. He was everywhere he needed to be, putting pressure on when he needed to put pressure on. And Kakan, you know, this guy loves to play mages. He loves to play passively in the lanes. I'm not sure Beartree's going to allow him to.
I feel like the difference here is that Rifty will, if you pick like a skill matchup, Rifty will challenge you on that. If you pick a Mordekaiser, he'll take Jax. He will match you on a skill expressive melee champion. But I feel like Kakan, he's played a lot of Kennen, a lot of Gnar. I feel like if you pick Mordekaiser,
as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take you on the 1v1 skill matchup. He's just going to try and be an asset to his team while securing himself a good laning phase. The big one for me to watch is in the mid lane. Fury has been the standout member of Diabolus for me. And I think Chimera, he looked really good in that last series. But Fury, when he has stepped up, it has led Diabolus to getting those victories that they relied on the early start of the split.
Yeah, we'll see if victory is what they're going to be fighting for here today. Diabolus, though, need to change things up from how it's been going in recent games. But as we jump on into picks and bans, Diabolus going to be starting off on the blue side. They get to pick as they were the highest seed coming into this series. And then whoever loses will pick sides moving into game number 2. But bans already coming on in Wisdom. So far, has had Pyke banned away from him every single game today. It's also going to be an Olaf banned. On the other side, it's going to be Kiana and Akali.
Yeah, a lot of respect going towards that. I remember Enclave, they were prioritizing banning the Kiana, the Vigot, and the Pyke. So if Diabolus wanted to, they could ban away that Vigot here. Or, and look somewhere else, they're actually denying that Sona, Tom, bot lane, that Phelan have played early in the split. It does suggest to me that Diabolus, I've seen them more so than any team. They want to play that Xayah, and they want to first pick it, even if they don't get the Rakan. And we saw that happen both games last series, so I fully expect a Xayah first pick to come out here, because I think if you don't, it's absolutely going to get snapped up by Phelan.
Yeah, Gragas going to be the final ban there. Not the most meta ban, but a targeted ban going towards PFI there. Now Kakan looking towards this first pick, 10 seconds left. Would not be surprised to see that Xayah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be the pick. I think the Gragas also denies that Yasuo-Gragas combo, which has been really powerful for the side of Diabolus, but they just brush over the Xayah. They clearly have another plan. I mean, again, I'm saying I expect this. I expect that Phelan are now going to pick that up because they wanted to get their hands on it when they could in the last series. They will take it. I'm not too much. I don't think they're going to take the Rakan as well. They'll probably take a jungler here for Soft. They have very much sort of been not too favored on the Rakan, even though it has great synergy with the Xayah. Wisdom's like a bit more variety in the support. But yeah, the Olaf banned away from Soft. It's something he played in both games, had a ton of success on. Look for those early invades to take advantage of the early pressure. He's up against Sejuani, one of the strongest junglers of the patch, and he doesn't have that pick he had so much success on. He's going to go towards the Skarner.
Interesting to pick that up early as well, because it's not something that's been massively contested in the current meta, but also it's not a flex pick. Quite often in the early stages of the drafts, we've been seeing a lot more flex picks, whereas both Xayah and Skarner pretty much one lane picks.
Yeah, and you could even, sort of hope that he might have gone for, like the Trundle, which is a specific counter to the Sejuani, but maybe he was personally concerned that they might move that Sejuani bot lane as a support, and then he just ends up picking it in a rough matchup. But Diabolus, they're going to pick up another Devil, and it is that Aatrox. We saw Fury have a ton of success in this in the mid lane. Massive driving force and great synergy already with the Sejuani to stack up that passive.
Maybe getting inspired by the bruises that Phelan were playing with in the last game, going for a big tanky composition. And we'll see what Fury's going to lock in here as well as they get towards the last couple of seconds here. It looks like it's going to be the Nautilus going down to support.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Heathen has played this as much as he can when he gets the opportunity. Really aggressive. My big point for him was when I remember he played against Shannon's Lucian. Flashed in, landed the hook despite the dash coming out from Lucian. Really confident in the support, and I'm happy to see them get their hands on it. This is a lot of CC coming out already. It's a lot of team fight potential and shutdown. It's going to be very difficult to pick anyone without mobility. Even a Chew on this Xayah is going to have limited effectiveness when dealing with all this CC. But Phelan, they're just going for that Pantheon once again. Likely going to go to Bear Tree. But we saw the effect it had in that game one. Did get outscaled by the Alawi, but was so difficult to punish because, he has that great wave clear, has the shield he can use to avoid things. I wouldn't be surprised if Diabolus actually go and ban away the Shen here, because we saw such great synergy between those two picks in the last game.
Yeah, Pantheon, just such an incredibly strong champion, but again, it requires team play. It requires you to be aware of your map and to be impacting the rest of the game, but Bear Tree's already proven he can do that, proven he knows how to have that impact elsewhere on the map. Kennen going to be banned away. He knows that Kakan loves to go on that Kennen. He knows he loves to have that teamfight impact. So now start to pinch that top lane pool.
Yeah, probably going to be a Kennen. There may well be a Gnar following up or something like the Karma. Shutting down the picks Kakan can play to make a non-interactive lane with the Pantheon. They have denied the Shen-Pantheon combination we saw have so much effect in game one of the last series. So Diabolus have been watching and carefully looking at what made Phelan have so much success.
And that ban's so effective because we saw in game one of that first series when the Baron buff was behind Phelan, they had 3 people in the bottom lane. Then they had Shen and Pantheon in the top lane. It's just like double teleport for free. There's nothing you can do to contest.
The massive thing was to cross-match objectives. Whenever Phelan went for a play bot lane, Enclave tried and match on the other side. Suddenly, Pantheon jumps on you with a Shen on top, and you just end up falling down. Phelan opting to ban away that Kai'Sa, and then Diabolus will finally ban away the Rakan, not wanting to give over that Xayah Rakan bot lane. Although I feel like Wisdom, of all the sports in the league, still has a ton of stuff up his sleeve.
Yeah, Wisdom has a very wide champion pool, and we'll see what he's going to lean towards here. And now, moving towards this 4th pick, where do you think Phelan want to go with this?
I think it's going to be support, and it makes a lot of sense to go for that Volley Bear. It's a pick that Wisdom loves to play, even specifically not into the Rakan, but especially up against something like a Nautilus who's very squishy. If he goes in, there's no way he gets out again. You can flip him, you can CC him for a decent amount of time, and then you can just end up biting down on him. A lot of strength with that pick, and we saw it have success in game 2. But now, Diabolus, they have to pick the AD carry. They have to cement where this Aatrox is going. I expect it to be mid based on how they've played so far, but been surprised before. They're actually going to go for the Veigar, so this could well be the Veigar bot lane that we've seen a Chew play before. Or it could be a Veigar mid lane, but that doesn't seem like the sort of pick that I would expect Fury to blind or necessarily play.
The Aatrox as well could be in the top lane or could be in the mid lane, so still a lot up in the air here. This final pick from the Heathen will sort of solidify where things are going to be going. The Syndra, we've seen a lot of it so far today. And it looks like that might just be the lock-in here going towards the mid lane.
Yeah, and that is a ton of burst, a ton of CC as well. And that's going to limit the effectiveness of Wisdom on this Volley Bear because you put the cage down and his run is just shut down. There's nothing more you can do. It's also very effective against Soft on this Skarner. So much CC is going to make it very difficult for this Bruiser frontline of Phelan to get in. And then if they do finally get close, the burst between this Syndra, between this Veigar is massive. Now it's on a Phelan to round out the composition. And it just put Chimera on that Cassiopeia once again. He did have a great game on it, farmed up a Storm.
And also gave them so much objective control, right? The speed you can take that Baron down. I'm feeling more than happy to abuse that damage and take control of those objectives. That's going to be the big question for me is this composition from Diabolus. Is it going to be able to contest with the early game from Phelan that we've seen in the last couple of games?
That's the big question. Obviously, one of the things is that you don't have soft on this Olaf once again. On the Skarner, you don't have as much impact pre-6. Your ult's very impactful, but you need to get to that point first, and Sejuani can match you pretty easily. Also, no cleanse coming out from Chimera, so a very vulnerable mid lane target once that level 6 is hit. And remember, once level 9 is available, Fury, he's been my standout player for Diabolus. I expect to see him just take over the game because he has been monstrous on so many champions. One thing to note though, you're seeing Kakan go on one of these melee top laners, has gone for these very non-interactive top lanes for quite a few weeks, where he's just looking to farm up and try and impact team fights, but now he's saying, I want to go toe-to-toe with Bear Tree.
Pantheon Aatrox.
Yeah, he saw what he did with Rifty and said, I want some of that.
Both gods of war. Let's have a bit of a brawl up in the top lane. I'm excited to watch that one, but the amount of CC on Diabolus' roster right now is absurd. If Fury needed a team that could protect him while he dishes out the damage, this is it. The amount of CC that can chain together, the amount of hard engage they have is immense. And the question is, are they going to be able to group up and are they going to be able to abuse that fact?
I mean, I hope to see it. I think they have to be proactive in this game. They've shut down a lot of proactive tools. Having the Pantheon's great, but they don't have the Shen to match up with that. They don't have the Olaf who's as impactful early. I feel like they have shut down the draft plan that came out from Phelan in the series against Enclave, but it's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Because even when they missed out on the early pressure, Phelan still found an opportunity to be proactive in the mid game. They still found angles to abuse, and yes, I think it's going to be a bit trickier when you're up against the likes of a Veigar and Syndra, who have so much mid game burst and also CC, whereas you're waiting for your Xayah and your Cassiopeia to scale up. It may be a different direction Phelan go this game. They've shown they can crush early. They may want to just weather the storm this game a bit more because their tools aren't quite as powerful, but they definitely have a lot of late game strength with the likes of the Cassiopeia and the Xayah.
Yeah, I mean, game 2 of the first series, they did slow down a little bit. I'm excited to see if they have multiple styles here, if they can branch out even further, but I'm most excited for this top lane. Bear Tree was absolutely the MVP of our first series of the day. Now we're going to see Kakan going toe-to-toe with him. And once again, we saw a lot of jungle presence towards that top side from Soft in game number 2, especially trying to shut down Rifty. It's very possible that we see that once again. It's very possible that we don't see the 1v1 that we're craving.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is that in return, you can always bring the Sejuani up to match. And Sejuani Aatrox is such a strong 2v2. Easily stack up the passive on top of the sweet spots of Aatrox, mean you are constantly CC'd and taking so much damage. And pre-6, Skarner can't really do as much as he can once he has his ult. With his Impale, he can essentially make it a 1v2 for a period of time. That's not possible, so that's a concern. If he goes topside pre-6, there is possibility to turn it around. But remember, we are looking at Pantheon as well. Really potent lockdown, really potent early damage.
All right, so we've been talking about predictions a little bit already. I've predicted Phelan 2-0 in this series as we do jump onto Summoner's Rift. My man here, Orcs, has predicted that Diabolus will win the series overall, but he's predicted a 2-1. We'll find out who's going to take game number 1 as we kick off our second best of 3 here in the Gauntlet. Syndra versus Cassiopeia mid as well. This game is going to be explosive.
Absolutely is, and I'm looking to see some good momentum from Diabolus. We've seen it before from Phelan. First Dragon is an Infernal. Calls back to game 1 of the first series. A lot of priority going to be put around that, and it's going to be interesting to see how all these lanes play out. I expect to see, Chimera has switched to Cleanse. I think that's a very good call in this situation. But Fury, I expect to have the priority mid. Bear Tree in the top side, and then bot lane, it's a bit more up in the air. I think Achu and Wisdom will definitely have the shove early, but you're so vulnerable to ganks up against the Veigar, the Nautilus, and the Sejuani. The setup is so clean, but the issue with the Veigar is you're wanting to use your Q to farm. Does reduce your shoving power, and also the cooldown is pretty long early, whereas the Xayah can constantly just use the feathers to push mid. So what I expect is that Fury will shove in mid, and then we look to see him rotate to facilitate the rest of the team, because top and bot, I expect Phelan to have the priority, and Diabolus need to punish them.
We'll see if Diabolus can punish them. And let's bear in mind, Diabolus have a lot of pressure on their shoulders moving into the Gauntlet here. Nice little trade there from Fury to get the execute off. But they changed their entire roster coming into this season. They changed things up, and last season, Diabolus managed to finish 2nd place with the old roster. Now, this new roster, coming off the back of 5 losses in a row, they have pressure on not just to turn things around for right now, but to make it through this gauntlet and live up to the old roster's reputation.
The thing is that they've gone up and up. 40 champions a year ago, they ended up getting second place in the finals. They lost 3-2 to Misfits and narrowly missed out going to EU Masters. Next split, they went there. They came second, first in the regular season, and then second in playoffs. To go up from there, the only thing you can do is come first. But they have so far to go from the spot in the gauntlet. We do see Fury having a massive trade, and this is showing a bit more dominance than we saw Beely really offer towards Chimera in that first series. He's really starting to threaten this Cassiopeia pick, who, as we said, it's a scaling pick, but Fury not really want to give that opportunity to gain the levels on the gold.
And this is one of the things when you've got that Skarner jungle early on in the game, there's really not a lot he's going to be able to do. He's not going to have much pressure in that mid lane for right now. So Fury knows that he can push up very aggressively and punish Chimera for every single CS he tries to get.
Absolutely can. And do you see Soft starting to head towards the Skullcrab for it to spawn? He is quite low in HP, and remember, mid priority over to Fury is what I expected to see. They move Fury over to secure these objectives, and Soft, he's looking to contest this. We gotta be careful, dude.
Yeah, you do not want to land in that CC chain. The Skullcrab, by the looks of things, will go the way of PFI there. And these early skirmishes do seem to be going Diabolus' way so far, but it looks like the Skullcrabs have been traded here, potentially. Zvizdom going to start moving up towards this mid lane here.
Warning pings come out. Furies should back away here.
Here we go. Wisdom going to charge in, but immediate stun from Fury. Nice, easy way to avoid that one. And excellent positioning from him as well.
Yeah, he positioned back in the position... Same position a lot. He positioned back in a way that he could easily stun them when they came in. He was aware of the threat. Pings come out from Diabolus, and they should expect this. They saw Enclave get punished by these early roams from the bot lane. And the thing is that every time you go for those, if you don't get anything from it, and I mean anything, because they didn't even get a flash from Fury, they literally just got his Scatter the Weak, you give up some pressure in the bot lane. So it is a costly thing to go for if it doesn't pay off. And Fury still very much in control in the mid lane here. A lot of damage coming out from Chimera.
Yeah, Chimera is not having a fun time here, but look at the damage onto Kakan. He might just be going down. Beartree not willing to go for the dive at this early stage, but Kakan is surely going to have to head back to base.
This is a rough situation, because he's going to want to TP in here, but the minion wave is pushing away. If he TPs this wave, he may well just die. We're seeing it come in. Soft is waiting in the brush, and Beartree there. You do not want to come in on this one.
You can't cancel that anymore, my friend. Immediately has to flash away. That's going to be both of his summoners down now.
Just a great bait from the Phelan top jungle. They knew with the state of the wave, he'd want to TP back in, want to secure that shove, and so Soft waited. They're rewarded with his summoner. And we saw Beartree already sort of establishing some dominance in this lane. It's going to happen even more so.
Great bait, mate. 8 out of 8 right there. But now looking towards the jungle matchup as well. So far, PFI is actually starting to pull ahead just a little bit here. Not quite going to have a level advantage, but certainly in terms of CS, he's been doing pretty well. Now we'll walk over a ward as he heads towards this bottom lane. So Achu and Wisdom are going to be well aware of where that Sejuani is.
Yeah, the CS lead has opened up in the bot lane for Achu. It's expected. Vigo has a bit of a rough laning phase before you hit the point where you can just freely use your Q to farm. Fury now hit the level 6 point. Big power spike. Chimera has been on the rough end of some trades, and that does a lot of damage already. Remember, massive spike for damage at level 9 when he's got that Dark Sphere maxed, but even now, it's starting to hit.
Here we go, Beartree going in for yet another trade onto Kakan, and he's just not really able to return the damage right here, but I say that, look at that, all 3 sweet spots hit. That is going to be massive return. And
he used all of his cooldowns. He used his defensive ability as E. And then it was... Kakan just waited it out and turned it all around. Got a really solid trade. But Phelan going to look towards this Infernal Dragon on the bot side. PFI is on the wrong side of the map. This could well just be a free Infernal Dragon, which we've seen how much impact that can make.
And fantastic stuff here coming out from Phelan once again. focusing on this early game, even though they've got the Skarner, doesn't... Oh, here we go. Unleashed power comes up through. Chimera survives, though. Flashes uses his ultimate, and the rest of his team is now going to arrive. Fury has not used his flash just yet, but he's going to be stunned on out. Soft is there to do the damage, and Vincent flashes in for first blood.
So many summoners burn, but they do shut down Fury. They manage to take him out. Flash comes out from Chimera. Flash comes out from Soft. Flash comes out from Wisdom. They shut down the Syndra, who was so close to killing Chimera. But Fury should just be able to TP back in, pick up this wave. And that's a lot of summoners burn, especially if you look topside. Flash was burned during that passage of play off camera by Battery. So already 4 flashes down for Phelan. I feel like this is now Diabolus' opportunity to find some momentum on the map. Find some opportunities to punish, especially as PFI is going to be closing on that level 6 point. You can see the bot lanes too, and those are some high impact ults that you do not want to get hit from if you're on the side of Phelan.
Yeah, and such an important momentum play there for Phelan as well, because it was Fury that started that fight. It was Fury that was being aggressive right there, uses his ultimate onto Chimera, but gets shut down completely, and Phelan showing that they have this map presence, that they're more than happy to make plays like this and react to what Fury's going to do. The Heathen wants something mid, but there's no way he's going to find that right now.
Yeah, and it's a good proactive play, and I'm glad they shut him down, but you still look at the state of the lane. 20 CS down for Chimera, and now he's flashless. Soft's flashless. I'm looking at Diabolus. I'm looking at what they're going to do from here. But for now, it's still Phelan looking for the proactive roams. You can see Wisdom and Achu walking up towards that river area. Wisdom constantly playing around this vision. But he is on a ward right now, so may not be aware, but all of Diabolus know what he's doing.
And Fury does still have flash, bear in mind.
Flash from Wisdom. He could look for this over the wall.
Jungler's going to be dueling to start this one off as both mid laners head on up, but Soft is not winning this one out. Already down, and Chimera may be in a bad spot at this stage. Stun is not going to land, though, as Pantheon slams into the fight. Diabolus flashing away. It's just going to be 1-0.
Yeah, and they path towards Soft. They knew the bot lane was moving up, so they instantly moved in response. They're able to shut down Soft, who was a bit over-aggressive. And now, it looked like they're going to commit to that tower, but instead, they have to respect the fact that drag down Heathen. They've already taken a play bot lane. They want to try and punish them here, but it's so difficult to engage onto this Vigar on the Nautilus with the amount of CC they both offer.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do in that fight. And so far, if we take a look at the CS numbers across the board, it is relatively even, but both carry lanes, right? Oh, in fact, no time for CS right now. Bear Tree's in trouble. PFI's come up towards the top lane. CC gonna finally start to come on in as the sweet spot lands. Bear Tree down to just 400 HP, and there's just nothing he can do. PFI gonna grab the kill.
And they, seeing a bit more action bot.
More action going on. Wisdom gonna take a huge amount of damage, but it's not really enough to kill a Volibear.
Just way too early on the ult from Dragdar. I believe Wisdom still had the Aftershock proc, and he was just really high on HP. It's an execute. Need to wait a bit longer, but it still shows the threat that this bot lane offers. But Aatrox and Sejuani, such great synergy. The lockup there on Bear Tree, even though the Infernal Chains didn't manage to pull him back in, because he had no flash, he just was 100% going down in that situation. Diabolus punish him. They don't manage to do the same in the bot lane, but remember, Vigar is going to become so strong late in the game, and his ult is really going to start to hurt.
It really will. And that's one of the big things, like, as we scale further on into this game, the face of this game changes dramatically. Soft will start to become much more effective as well. You've got quite a few champions in this game that, the longer it goes on, I mean, Syndra, another one of these that, as you start to max those abilities, you hit these huge power spikes. But I want to talk a little bit about PFI so far this game, you know, who was going into this one up against Soft. They've just watched the fact that Phelan did such an incredible job against Enclave, being proactive, and a lot of that was in the pocket of Soft. PFI more than happy to match that activity and make things happen for his team.
Absolutely, and it's the PFI we saw at the start of split, and happy to see it once again. Do you see both junglers waiting around topside, but look at the river.
Bear Tree in trouble once again here as Soft comes on in to reinforce his top laner. Looking towards PFI, is going to have that ultimate available once he goes to use that one. Chimera arriving on the scene as well. PFI is going to go down, and it's Bear Tree getting the shutdown. Wisdom is not done though, as he tries to chase Kakan.
Yeah, Kakan doesn't have to burn the flash, is able to get away, but PFI goes down. Shutdown goal given to Bear Tree, and now Phelan able to look towards the Rift Herald, and this is what Phelan do so well. They bring the numbers advantage. Wisdom walked up, Chimera walked up. They had the numbers they needed to make that play, but now
here we go.
like a bot.
3-man bot. Achu going to be locked up. There's nothing he can do about this one. Dragdar, though, incredibly low. Look at
Heathen.
that. Oh, Heathen is going to have to use his Zonias on this one. He's going to get finished off by Bear Tree, though, who grabs himself a second kill. That would have been an execute without Bear Tree there.
Just a comedy of errors coming out from Diabolus. They mistime everything. The ult from Fury forced the ult coming out from Achu. Great. That's the play you're supposed to go for. But then he uses the Scatter of the Weak before Achu touches the ground. And he then throws the ult. By the time, it's way too late. A massive misplay. And in the meantime, Phelan pick up that Rift Herald on the top side. Big advantage going over to them.
And Chimera now starting to come into his own. The CS deficit not as significant as it was, and he's been able to just kind of chill throughout this mid game. And Fury has lost a lot of the pressure that he once had, and now we're starting to get to a point where this Cassiopeia will start to do damage of her own. She'll start to be able to actually threaten against this Fury if the ultimate lands.
And the big thing is the mana pool as well. She's starting to get a lot more stacks in that tier. That's one of the biggest gates to a Cassiopeia in the early game, is that you just don't have enough mana to continue an all-in. But now, having picked that up in a much more comfortable position, and Phelan, they're going to use that Rift Herald top lane. They'll lose a Cloud on the bot side, but this is a trade you are happy to take.
Yeah, because Achu going to get all of this gold to himself as well. Kakan going to arrive on the scene to try and protect this tower, and I think he might just be able to keep that one alive for now. Achu daren't go in on that one on his own, but another dive in the bottom lane. Diabolus trying to make things happen, but Bear Tree's a lot tankier. Still going to go down right there.
Yeah, CC better coordinated. PFI tanked all the damage. Now Khan trying to run away.
Khan gonna be rooted up, and he's gonna be ulted as well. Knocked in the air. He's been flipped all different ways, and Achu grabs the kill.
Yeah, and I feel like it's now a race to the first tower, but Phelan do have the edge here. Demolish comes in, and they should be able to secure this one. In return, Diabolus will answer bot lane, but a little bit slower. They miss out on that bonus gold.
Yeah, unfortunate on that one. Not quite gonna be there in time. But the gold on the board right now is completely even between these two squads. Diabolus doing such a good job to match this early pressure and not allow themselves to fall behind like Enclave did.
Yeah, but you gotta look at where the differences are coming out. Big advantage to PFI in the jungle, but it's Sejuani. The gold isn't as valuable on here as compared to the bot lane. 700 gold difference between Achu and Dragdar. And that Xayah has some massive item power spikes she wants to hit. She wants to get that Essence Reaver, which she's already picked up. She wants to get the Infinity Edge to follow up. It's allowed to have so much damage. And she's going to be so much closer to that. You can see already BF and Berserker Greaves coming out. Dragdar actually opting to go for the Ceres Embrace, which is a bit of an interesting one. Super scaling. But he's also picked up another Lost Chapter. So the CDR from that doesn't stack. He's gone Glacial Augment, so I can expect he wants to have a GLP as well. But this is a very late game focused build. But Chimera might be in trouble.
Yeah, Chimera in a 2 versus 1. PFI's here, but in comes some teleports. This is going to be 2v1. Chimera, what? That was insane.
Doesn't even need Bear Tree to come in. The Miasma doing so much there. And Kakan, he's had a rough second half of the split. He's having a rough game so far.
What on earth was that? Chimera is here to stay. He's not going to be bullied like he was in the lane phase. He's here to make some waves. And now Wisdom and Soft playing aggressively. They know that they have the man advantage and they want to abuse it.
Oh, stun comes out though.
Oh, Sejuani ult onto Bear Tree.
That's just
Nothing
a lot
more going to
burn.
come from it.
That's just a Sejuani ult burn, which is a massive cooldown. And now Phelan, they're going to divert their pressure towards the bot side. Kakan, you can't walk up to try and defend this tower. PFI might try to offer an assist, but Soft and Wisdom look so scary right now.
They're just waiting. They are hunting right now in this jungle. They've just found themselves a Sejuani. It's not really the ideal target, though. But it just let Kakan know that they're there, and that's going to keep him away from this turret. All things considered, the building goes down.
Yeah, and that is exactly what Phelan we're looking for from this play. Chance to kill the Sejuani pretty low, but they secure the objective. Next Dragon Infernal, something that both teams will want to play towards, but it's not up for a while. Right now, gold has swung quite considerably in the favor of Phelan off that extra tower they picked up.
And this has been something that Phelan have just been doing an awesome job of, is this objective trading, just being one step ahead when it comes to these rotations and where the players need to be. Wisdom is in the right place at all times, and Soft going to be there alongside him as well. These guys have been making plays all around the map, and it means that Chimera and Achu and Beartree can just be where they want to be, pressure how they want to pressure, and they're going to have that support available.
Absolutely will. And we see Fury is in a really powerful position right now. He's hit level 11, so he has that max Q, which gives him the 25% extra damage to champions. He has the second rank result, which means he has a ton of burst. Right now, he's just handling the top wave, but he is my player to watch for this next fight, which will likely be over that next Infernal Dragon. He is the one who needs to make a massive impact to win this one over, because you look at Dragdar, and he's stacking an Archangels.
Yeah.
And he's level 9 compared to Achu's level 11. He has really not been doing well in this lane. And I feel like the decision to go for a greedy scaling item might have cost Diabolus massively. I expected the GLP rush to come out for more impact in team fights. You can offer a lot more utility to your team. With the slow spray coming out, it can potentially shut down Wisdom and Soft's engages, but instead...
And just look at the CS deficit. So 40 CS in favor of Achu right now. That is a tremendous lead. And there's a similar lead in the mid lane. You've got about a 25, 27 CS lead in favor of Fury, but he's a kill down. So that gold lead doesn't even exist.
And remember all the plates that Achu managed to get solo. Massive factors here, but we will see Infernal Dragon starting to spawn soon. A lot of vision and control are Phelan. I don't feel like Diabolus want to give this one up, and you can see already Beartree's walking down. He's actually popped the ult already.
Wisdom's going for it. That is one fast bear. And here comes another bear. The tree himself, as Fury will just about get away with his life, but Skarner ult says no, impaled to death.
Oh, Chu's looking for more. He nearly kills Dragdar. And that is going to be the teamfight win for Phelan. They're heading straight over to that dragon. Chimera already looking to secure it. And there's something in that fight that really just was not okay from Diabolus. If you look at Fury, you can see that flash being available. There was ample opportunities for him to use that, and he held it for way too long. And remember, his first death, he also held his flash. And it's sort of raising the question, what's the point of having the Summoner spell if you're not going to use it? You've just given over a second Infernal and your mid lane tower because you're greedy with that Summoner spell. And yeah, you can argue maybe he wouldn't be able to change things even if he had survived, but I still think he's been way too conservative with that Summoner spell in these crucial situations.
Double lift, is that you? Here we go. We've got a replay of that fight. And just watch. Fury has a chance here, as he does get a really nice stun onto Wisdom. He could get out.
Yeah, he's stunned here. Cage comes down, and watch Soft just walk over to him. Why wouldn't you flash away in that situation? He didn't even use his ult, and I've been praising Fury so much for his play in the split, but that was a massive mistake.
Unfortunate situation now for Diabolus, as Phelan have picked up 2 Infernal Drakes. They've picked up every single outer tower, and now they're starting to pressure. And you can physically see right now Diabolus losing control of their jungle. They can't contest in the way that they could before.
If I'm going to try and clear out that pink ward, but they will lose the red buff in return. Soft takes it for himself, and
look at the red wards right there. Look how much vision control on the minimap. You can see just red spattered all along, but Diabolus looking for a fight for themselves. Wisdom immediately cleansed away, walks away comfortably with his life.
And this is the crazy thing to me, is you look at the fact that there's a Skarner on the side of Phelan, and you're thinking it's Diabolus who should have the QSSs. Soft has a QSS, Wisdom has a QSS. They know the amount of CC available for Diabolus. They've prepared in advance, and that extra goldie they have is what is contributing to being able to buy those items and still be viable in team fights, still having the stats they need to go toe-to-toe with Diabolus. Especially as the thing with QSS is, yes, the active is the main reason you buy it, but you're still getting MR from it. And the big threats right now on Diabolus are that Veigar, or that Syndra, and it's reducing the damage output from them as well.
Yeah, it's not an item I would have considered on Volibear or on Skarner, but it is paying dividends for them already. And look at this. Great positioning by Soft, shoves Kakan away from the tower, and immediately guarantees this objective.
They don't even need minions. They are bulky enough to tank it up, and the damage from Chimera and Achu just shreds through it. And now, 2 towers down the bot lane.
I mean, did Phelan get a new coach or something? What happened with this squad? Because they've gone from just another low table team to a team that is utterly in control of their games.
They've Cloud9'd it. They've literally just buffed so hard for the Gauntlet. They've come together. They look so much more coordinated. And it's a fact that every other team knew they were in the Gauntlet well before Phelan did. Phelan had to play the tiebreaker on Friday, and it was only that where they knew they'd be playing the Gauntlet. Every other team in the Gauntlet pretty much had it set in stone well before that.
That's it. That's all that was required. They just needed a cheeky little warm-up on Friday. That was what was needed, apparently, to go all the way, because right now they are looking to push Diabolus out of this series if they can keep things up, though. That's the thing. It isn't done and dusted just yet. We've got a 3,000 gold lead in favor of Phelan, and the gold is in great places. You can see a 300 gold bounty on the likes of a Chu there, and you can see Beartree as well doing excellently in this top lane matchup. However, this is by no means a done deal just yet. They need to keep this ball rolling, but Baron control has been something we've been praising for all through the last series. We'll see if they can keep it up in this one.
Yeah, having a couple of issues right now, technical issues, so we'll have to go into a pause. But yeah, absolutely it's Phelan's game to lose, but it's definitely possible for a comeback for Diabolus. And I think, although I criticized the greedy build coming out from Dragdar on Vigar, the Ceres will give him more scaling. And obviously you run that Ingenious Hunter when you go the Glacial Organ build. You go the extra 5% item CDR on your Inspiration Runes. He will have a very short cooldown Ceres. He'll have a lot of actives that he can make use of. And the power of the cage is still going to be there. Because yes, QSS can get you through one element of CC, but there's still so much to deal with.
Let's bear in mind, right, the QSSs are great, but the sheer quantity of CC on the side of Diabolus. Kakan has multiple CCs. PFI has multiple CCs. Fury can literally stun an entire team. Not to mention the Vigar and the Nautilus in the bottom lane. There is so much specifically stun on the squad as well. A couple of QSSs, or 3 now QSSs are nice, but if multiple CCs are going to hit, if you're caught out, you're still going to go down. And Diabolus are going to be more than happy to use a man advantage. The only question is, are they ever going to find that pick?
Yeah, that's the big issue. As we get late in the game, it's going to become more and more of a requirement. Oh no, Kakan.
Kakan looks like he's the one that's going to be picked right now. Chimera will be pulled on back. And that means Kakan's going to be safe for now.
Yeah, the movement speed coming in clutch, and now Diabolus looking to apply some pressure in the mid lane. Soft.
And here's the CC chain we were talking about. Your QSS does nothing for you now.
Yeah, it did not help at all. The burst damage available. Both dragged on Fury using that ult to punch through. And now,
flash in from PFI, getting onto a Chu, but he's going to be able to get away with his own ultimate. Blade Caller available to hit Kakan, but PFI is going to be the next one to go down. Diabolus trying to fight this one out as they rotate towards the backline. Chimera is all on his lonely lonesome right now. Wisdom and a Chu going to be getting away, and Chimera is going to walk away with this one. Kakan trying to find a flank here onto Wisdom. He's not quite going to find it, but Fury will get the kill on that one instead. Now a Chu being chased on down. Chimera walks away with his life, but it's at the cost of both of these bot laners. Goodbye, a Chu.
Oh, nearly chins around a Kakan, but that is what Diabolus need. They find the pick potential, but they give up the Infernal Dragon. Phelan take it out, and now 24% AP and AD. That's a lot of scaling. Diabolus win the team fight, but they lose the objective, and now Fury might look for Chimera here.
Chimera in a bit of a bad situation. He's looking for a 1v1, but here comes Pantheon. It's not a 1v1 anymore. Teleport comes in as well, but it's both mid laners going down. Now Sock jumps back onto the front line. Heathen taking a lot of damage, but Beartree's the next target. He goes down. Double kill coming through for the Aatrox, and he wants more. Kakan looking for kills. He's going to be impaled. Sock narrowly escapes with his life, and now Wisdom finds himself alone. He'll go down, and it's going to be Dragdar with a kill.
Yeah, and they just take kill after kill. The pick potential in this composition is insane. 20-second cooldown on that GLP, and every time Dragdar sprays it, someone is getting caught out. The QSS can't do anything against the freeze rays on the floor. If you QSS it, it just instantly reapplies. Diabolus found their form. They've closed the goal lead, but still, the triple Infernals is a massive difference to overcome. Gotta say, though, Dragdar looking good on this Vigar now. 4-0-3. Picking up so many kills. He's now got a Void Staff as well and Sork Shoes. He is doing so much damage. I'd like to ask if observers can check how much AP he's getting from his passive.
Yeah, and Kakan as well in the meantime during these fights, doing so much damage with the sweet spots, getting those knockups as well. It's so difficult for anyone on Phelan to get away.
Absolutely is, and it's the power of this team fight. They have all these bruises just to provide the CC. Do have a quick replay coming in. So Fury waiting a long time for the turnaround, and the Pantheon comes in straight into the cage. Flawless placement from Dragdar. And it looks like Phelan might be trading evenly, but the chase continues, and you just cannot escape all this CC, all this damage. Soft does manage to escape for a while, but he drags Khan in to almost cause himself to get hit by the third sweet spot. It nearly takes him out, but in the end, he ends up just having to run away, and he leaves Wisdom.
Yeah.
This Volibear in the early game seemed so tanky, but later on, he just seems like he's going to be a squishy target from the blow up. And we did just hear that Dragdar has received 170 AP from his passive. Remember, every kill, every takedown, sorry, every kill or assist, you get 5. So the fact he's 403 contributing quite significantly to that, but he is picking up more and more AP as the game goes on. And sure, I would love for Drag to have those Infernals to have even more, but right now it's Phelan who have got those on lockdown.
Yeah, and that's a big, big thing right here because they've spent a lot of their gold on QSSs so far, but they're even in gold. So in terms of items, they're going to be behind in damage slightly. However, with the triple Infernal Drake, that's not going to be the case at all. Phelan have done such a good job in the early game to control that objective that it's paying dividends now for them. And look at the CS as well, especially in that bottom lane. 70 CS lead in favor of Achu. While Dragdar has just recently become fed off for those last few fights, in terms of gold, Achu will not fall too far behind.
Oh, Achu's looking for the Khan right now. Pantheon comes in as well. And straight away, Diabolus are pinging towards the Baron.
Oh, look at the damage from Kakan. He wants this fight. He wants the kill onto Achu. He's not going to find it, though. Will get shut down.
No TP for Achu, but there is one for Battery. Diabolus start this Baron, but it's pretty slow.
It's very slow indeed. Achu going to continue to push in the bottom lane. In the meantime, all they have to do is stop recalls, and they can potentially guarantee an inhibitor right now. Achu going to continue to push in that bottom lane, and Wisdom and Soft just pushing so aggressively, making sure that there's nothing Diabolus can do to recall.
But feeling that instantly looking towards the Baron, they know that Diabolus have backed off, and they're heading straight there. PFI's in the area, he should be aware of this, but they've already lost the bot lane tower. Feeling like getting everything.
Phelan getting an inhibitor and a Baron at the same time. PFI wants to go for a steal. He's desperate to make this play. Wisdom has been rooted up. Fury trying to get on into the situation. PFI going to be the target, but it's actually Skarner taken down first. Soft falls, and Diabolus are falling apart. They get one kill, but at what cost? Heathen now going to be stunned up and taken on down. Phelan have this game in a vice.
Oh, Achu? He's...
Oh, Achu is going to be able to QSS his way out, but he's 2v1. Goes immediately down. Diabolus claws something back.
And that could have been the Baron, and maybe even the game for Phelan if Achu had not been caught out. He has the QSS for the cage from Dragged Up, but Kakana collapses, kills Desire, and that is enough to force Phelan to back away from the Baron. Yes, they won that fight overall, but it could have been so much worse for Diabolus right there if it wasn't for Phelan. For Achu, sorry, his misposition when he walked towards Baron. He had the TP as well. He definitely could have taken a safer route.
Yeah, really unfortunate misposition at the end there. And that's one of the things we were talking about. If you do misposition against a comp like this that Diabolus has, you're going to get caught out, you're going to get CC'd up, and you're going to get obliterated. That's exactly what we just witnessed.
And that's the big thing to talk about, is that Phelan, they're slightly ahead in gold here. They have the advantages in those dragons, but we still saw a Phelan who were dominant from minute 1 against Enclave. They are not in that position right now, and it's a very different scenario for them to win this game when it's much more even, and this is going to be the real test. Lots of teams can potentially close the game out when they're miles ahead. When you're this close, it's a very different game to play.
Can you tip the balance when it's on a knife's edge? We're going to find out here as we head towards the 30-minute mark. And it started slow in this game, but things are really heating up. And now both teams posturing around the Dragon, around the Baron, trying to get vision control because they know that a big fight is coming.
Absolutely is. And all the Diabolus looking to control the Baron area. They will give up that Ocean Dragon just for Soft to take, but not the biggest priority, especially at this stage of the game. Will be the last Dragon before the Elder.
Certainly will. And that's going to be a 4th one for Phelan. And once again, going into this series, I was saying, take a look at Khan, take a look at Bear Tree. That matchup is going to be so impactful to this game. And once again, Bear Tree doing so much. Fury is in mega trouble. The Blade Caller doesn't get him, but a flash forward and a crit will.
And what a confident play coming out from Chu. He looks for the damage onto Fury, catches him off guard, and Fury's Curse will do nothing from there. No chance to even use the ultimate. Stun dodged away from the what's that ability
Blade
called?
Caller.
Blade Caller, yep.
Yeah, dodging the feathers. And now, with a mid laner down, this is a prime opportunity for Phelan. They start up the Baron, and Diabolus, they look like they want to contest this, but there's just no way. It's going to go down way too fast. PFI isn't close enough, and Achu finishes it off. And now they find themselves caught out. Heathen going to be the first targets. He drops immediately. Kakan wants a flank, but there's just nothing he can do.
Yes, Soft's still going. He has Flash.
Event Horizon will get a nice stun. There's a knock-up as well. Kakan trying to make things happen, but here comes Bear Tree onto the back line. Kakan doing his best to peel. Event Horizon will stop them pushing further. But now with Baron, the siege can begin.
Yeah, Fury will turn up to stop any more push from happening in the mid lane, but Phelan got exactly what they wanted with that play. They got the Baron. They're in control. They're going to cut Diabolus out of heart their jungle.
Yeah, and look, there's an open inhibitor in the bottom lane. They've got a Baron buff to push it with, and it's so difficult for Diabolus to find a fight because they're starting to fall so far behind. The triple Infernal doing wonders, and that Ocean Drake going to keep them healthy during the siege.
They need to try and keep this inhibitor alive. Losing this would be a massive hit to pressure on the map, especially when we know that some big objectives will be coming up. Baron, gonna be in about 6 minutes from now. That inhibitor is gonna keep you locked out of the top side of the map if it goes down. Someone's gonna be on constant wave clear duty, so Diabolus are gonna do their best to defend that. They're gonna move to the mid to apply some more pressure there, so this might be the opportunity for Diabolus to look for the fight. Spooky Ghost is coming up soon from Dragdar. This may be that opportunity.
It could be an opportunity, but can you even win a 5v4 at this stage? Because Achu is absolutely annihilating people. And this is going to be a mid lane tier 2 going down. Not worth contesting that one. In the meantime, the collapse begins from Diabolus. They're trying to get onto Soft and Achu. Flash for the ultimate. It lands onto one, but Soft Q assesses it immediately. An ultimate burned, a flash burned, but nothing gained. And now the mid lane is the target. Phelan are running rings around Diabolus.
Yeah, they are forcing the pressure in so many areas. Achu teleporting top, wanting to make even more pressure. Looking towards that top tower, the last outer one alive, and they've kept the mid lane tower alive, but that it is so low, and it would be a second inhibitor exposed from Diabolus' base. Phelan gonna take one last tower. Still a minute 20 though on that Baron buff. They could easily reset here and still have some more time to play with it. If observers could quickly show us the gold, I want to just take stock of how much is available and look across the board for Phelan. 1,600 top, 2,100 in the jungle. Chimera just spent, but almost 4,000 for a Chew.
And just look, nearly a Flame Horizon in that lane as well. He's, what, 9 CS away from a Flame Horizon over Dragdar. He is just having a whale of a time on this Xayah. And he's getting to a point where he's half an item off a full build.
Yeah, and this is what we expected from Phelan at the start of the split. Achu and Wisdom were veteran performers. They played Challenger Series qualifiers together years ago on really competitive rosters. And it felt like they didn't have that same level of expertise when they came into this split at the UKLC, but they are really finding their form in these playoffs. Achu looking monstrous on the Xayah. Wisdom constantly applying pressure, but the whole roster from Phelan looking very strong and Diabolus going to try and look for a pick. It'll be difficult because they need that.
They're not finding it right now. And when you look at kill participation, Bear Tree is the guy that's been part of the majority of the kills. He's got 9 out of the 14 that he's been a part of. And this gold lead is not that crazy. For 34 minutes, a 5,000 gold lead is not crazy. Achu, though, getting slowed down. PFI wants to go. Look at the damage Achu can do. PFI can't even go near him. Event Horizon's gonna do nothing as PFI just about walks away. Blade Caller onto 4 people. Achu's invincible in the backline. Or is he? Kakon gets straight onto the AD carry, but he just can't quite do enough. Skarner will finish him off. And now Chimera's in the back himself. 3 players left for Diabolus, and they're gonna be chased on down. PFI try to escape, but here comes Pantheon. Fury drops. PFI's down, and Phelan make their mark.
They've done it once again. It looked like it could have been a bit dicey when Kakon got on top of Achu, but the shutdown is there. The team collapsed, and a great flank from Chimera will shut down Diabolus' hopes for this game 1. Back to the drawing board because Phelan are not stopping.
Yeah, trying to go for the scaling comp from Diabolus, but Phelan more than happy to play a bit of a slower game. Complete map control once again. Dragons were all theirs, and once they started to get those towers, Diabolus just could not find a way back.
Absolutely could not. And the thing is, it was kept more even for a long period of time, but it's just the advantages are found time and time again, and the shot golem from Phelan so clean. The coordination to look for those picks, the confidence from Achu.
Yeah.
An AD carry sneaking up on a Syndra. It just does not seem like the thing you'd expect to see, and yet it worked, and it paid off massively. They're able to get control, and honestly, 2 big picks that for me have really cemented the power from Phelan is this Cassiopeia and is this Xayah, because you can't do anything. If you want to get in close to the Baron, the Miasma shuts you down. If you want to try and engage onto this Xayah, the Blade Caller and the fact that you can just rip through your team with the feathers and chunk them out, it makes it impossible. And Diabolus have to go back to the drawing board, but they need to do a lot to bounce back in this series.
And soften Wisdom as well during this series. The amount of control they had around the map. Once they start to siege in the bottom lane, the entire bottom side of the jungle just littered with wards. There's nothing that Diabolus could do to get any kind of fight for that vision control. And so far, Phelan looking fantastic. That's 3 wins for them today. 1-0 up in this series. We'll find out if Diabolus can contest them for this one right after this.